Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler Day. If you don't know who I am, I'm the co-founder of OptimizeToConvert.com. Optimize to Convert is a brand that's all focused on affiliate marketing. So my brother Peter and I have been in the affiliate marketing industry since 2012, and we've done 8 figures in affiliate commissions. Around 2015, we really started to do some big multi-million-dollar per year numbers, and every year our business just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So, you know, every day we're still in the trenches, running ads, generating traffic, but we still like to help people out, and we come here every day on the channel to basically provide some free value for you guys so you can learn more about the industry and just learn some more kind of tricks and tactics and gain some knowledge on, you know, how to make things work for yourself. So the topic that we're going to be talking about today is basically how to optimize Facebook ads. So, you know, basically we're going to be talking about just a handful of different kind of tricks and strategies that you can use to, you know, really dial in your Facebook ads and also not make so many mistakes, because, you know, I see a lot of people making just very common mistakes whenever they're optimizing Facebook ads. So first and foremost, the number one mistake that people make is basically buying into the learning phase. So don't buy into the learning phase. So the learning phase is a thing that Facebook basically implemented a little while ago, maybe like a year or two ago, that basically when you start an ad, they give you this period called the learning phase. And what they tell you to do during this phase is they tell you to get 50 conversions on your ad set. So let me tell you why that's not a good idea to follow, right? So it's like, if you're running Facebook ads and let's say that your payout was $10 on the offer, you know, in order to get 50 conversions, you know, you would need to spend a lot of money on just one single ad set, right? So, I mean, let's say that you launch even a conservative number. Let's say that you launch 10 different ad sets to test, and you're waiting to get 50 conversions on each. Well, each ad set would need to get 500 conversions times 10. That's $5,000, you know, in theory, right? I mean, it might even cost more than that if you're not breaking even. It could cost even, you know, let's say you're losing 50%, it could cost $10,000 in order to get the 50 conversions on those 10 ad sets. So really the learning phase is kind of just like a bogus thing that Facebook implemented, you know, to basically just get people to spend more money. They kept, you know, pushing people to, oh, finish the learning phase, just finish the learning phase. It'll all be good once you complete this 50 conversion threshold, and all your ads will magically become profitable and everything will be fine. But don't buy into that, because it's really bogus. And, you know, I see a lot of people basically blowing their budget trying to get through this learning phase. So, you know, what happens when people follow this Facebook guidance of going into the learning phase is they end up testing very few. So most test too few ad sets. So most people are basically testing too few ad sets to optimize their campaign. So I've talked before in other videos about, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is testing too few creatives, like image or videos, because the creative is really what gets somebody to take action on your offer. And, you know, if you're trying to complete the learning phase, like maybe you can only afford to test like 3 or 4 creatives before you've completely blown your testing budget, right? So it really doesn't make any sense to follow that. And, you know, really the best thing to do is to test massive amounts at micro budgets. So, you know, basically I've said before that it's always the better idea to increase your volume of testing, not necessarily the amount of money that you're spending on a single test, but just the amount of tests that you're launching, right? So instead of only making like 5 images, make 50 images. Instead of only making, you know, one headline, make 20 different headlines. instead of testing only 1 or 2 audiences, test like 20 or 30 audiences, right? So you need to test massive amounts, and it all comes down to basically the order of what to test. I think another mistake people make is testing everything at once. So don't try to test everything at once. So the different components of what we're testing are the image or video that you're using, of course the offer that you're promoting, the landing page that you're sending the user to, like a pre-sale page, also the audience that it's running to, also the placement where it's actually running. So Facebook, Instagram, audience network, right? So a mistake that people make is basically like testing too much at once. So like, I think a mistake that people make, it's like, let's say that somebody came up with an image, mistake that they would make would be like testing the same image with like different audiences and different placements and different offer before even telling if that image is good, right? I think you can waste a lot of money basically double testing when you don't really know if your creative is good. So a good process to follow is to basically start testing one thing at a time. So a good place to start is with your creative, so your image or your video. So pick one strong headline and one closely related audience. Like, for example, if you're promoting car insurance, then try to just pick like a car insurance audience or something like that, or vehicle insurance, right? So pick one strong headline and one closely related audience, and then test massive amounts of image, video creatives. And then once you find a creative that stands apart from everything else, maybe it got the cheapest clicks or it got the cheapest conversions on the offer, then you can move on to testing something different. So then, for example, you could move into testing either your landing page or your audience, right? So, let's say that you identified image that's really good, then what you could do is you could make, 9 or 10 different headline variations on your landing page, or test some completely different landing pages, or you could go into testing different interests or different lookalike audiences, pick one or the other, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here is that you shouldn't try to test everything at once. Like, you shouldn't just pick one image at random and start launching all these other tests around that image, because you don't even know if that creative is going to be good, right? So you could end up wasting a lot of money basically double testing things just to find out that the creative wasn't even good. So basically you have to move through different phases of testing by just testing one thing at a time. So test one thing at a time. Okay, so what else? So when it comes to optimizing Facebook ads, it's best to really pace your budgets over a 2 to 3 day period of time for 1x the offer payout. So the CPA is basically what you're getting paid, right? So, let's say, for example, that your payout was $10 on the offer. Well, you could spend, for example, $5 per day over a 2-day period of time and see if a conversion came in on that creative or on that audience. So anything that you're testing, whether it be a different creative or a different landing page or a different audience or a different placement on Facebook, you want to start it at a very, very low budget, and you want to give it basically a couple days to get results. I think another mistake is people try to spend the entire testing budget on day one. So don't spend all the testing budget on day one. You want to pace it out because, you know, typically day one can be a little bit shaky as far as the results. It can be a little bit hit or miss. So by giving it at least 2 or 3 days, you're going to be able to make better decisions and maybe not kill something that could have worked, or you know, think something that's working that actually doesn't work, right? So these are just some tips here as far as optimizing the campaigns. You know, really it all comes down to testing. If you haven't figured it out by now, the secret to getting successful with affiliate marketing is basically testing as much as you possibly can. And so that's it, guys. I think that these are some of the biggest tips here. You know, this is basically just a little tidbit, you know, some advice that you can follow to, you know, not waste money testing, or to test a little bit more efficiently and stuff like that. Okay, so if you're looking for more training on this, head over to our site, optimizetoconvert.com. You know, if you're looking for a product that really goes into, you know, ideas behind what to test and on Facebook and stuff like that, you know, a really good option is our course, The Social Lead Gen Blueprint. So this course really goes into detail about just the best way to run Facebook ads. And I only made this course a couple months ago, so this is really the most up-to-date, you know, 2020 media buying strategies as far as what to do on Facebook. And, you know, I made this course in a way that's easy to update. So like every quarter or so, I'm going to go ahead and update this with the latest strategies and add more content into it and stuff like that. So this course should really just get better and better over time. So by buying it, of course, you're going to have permanent access to any of those future updates. I also added a whole bunch of bonus content into the course. So, you know, in one of the videos, I even show like an example of a landing page. I show you some testing strategies that you can do. So anyways, guys, I hope that this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.